Hey, what's up, guys? The Allfather here, bringing you the next war recap. And this war was a little bit different, at least for me, in that I opted out main account, mini accounts, all that stuff, and just kind of took a little break from the war. It was amazing as well as a little nerve-wracking for me because there's nothing I could do about the war other than support you guys, which you came out on top here 37-34 with a victory. Great job there. What that did allow me to do is actually remember what sleep is and feel amazing after actually getting to bed at or before 11 o'clock for like 4 days in a row. No boosts, no wars, nothing, just sleep and a few farming raids here and there before the shield breaks. So a little bit of refreshment there. Also had a chance to get some upgrades done on the accounts, some archer queens, some town hall levels, and some troop research. So all in all, it was a great war and a great little break for me, and you guys took care of business here. Also allowed me to kind of sit back at the beginning of war, and I just took some live attack videos and posted those to the GroupMe chat and the YouTube channel so that you could see. I was just kind of sitting around watching what happened at the beginning of war and caught some live attacks instead of all the 3-star attacks. We caught some of those beginning ones that maybe didn't go so well from us and the enemy, and just encourage you to look at those live attacks and see some of the commentary and suggestions on those. But let's go ahead and get into the war recap. It was a pretty even matchup. Their hero levels weren't the greatest, but they had, I think, a little bit higher base levels than us. But if you look at the stats, 8 3-star attacks to 7, so we came out by 1 on them. And it was kind of interesting because they only used 27 attacks. They had 3 attacks left. They had all their armies built, and for some stupid reason, they just decided not to use them. And there was 3 bases left, 2 Town Hall 8s that had not been 3-starred, and 1 Town Hall 9 that had not been 2-starred. And so it would have been very easy for them to come up with 3 stars. And as you can see, the total destruction would have been in their favor, so it wouldn't have even been a tie because the tiebreaker is total destruction. And had they used those 3 attacks and managed them a little bit better, they would have been able to easily win this. And so you can see why I encourage and demand 100% participation, because it would be terrible to lose a war that you had basically the ability to win because you just decided not to attack for whatever reason. And that's something I can't put up with, and if I were them in their clan, I wouldn't either. But I don't have to deal with their clan, I just have to worry about ours. And so appreciate 30 out of 30 attacks, and that was basically what helped us to win this thing. So as you can see what I was talking about with the war map there, actually 2 of our Town Hall 9s had only been 1-starred, so there's 2 easy stars they could have had right there. I say easy if they had the ability to actually attack decently, which many of them didn't. They failed a lot. One of their heavy attackers actually timed out on one, which was great for us because he ended up just blowing up another base, 100% 3-star. So I'm really glad that his first one timed out, or not timed out, but lost connection, so that was great. But you can see 2 of our lower bases, 12 and 13 out of 15, not even 3-starred, and so that really comes down to them not having a great follow-up system. They started with their mirrors, but I don't think they really had a great follow-up system in order to systematically 3-star all the bases starting at the bottom, and that worked out to our advantage. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of our 3-star attacks from the good guys here. And we'll start with the number 7 base here. It's the highest Town Hall 9 that we 3-starred. Need to work on that. We need to get a little more consistent at 3-starring Town Hall 9s, especially the bottom few. But I know everybody wants to do that, and they will do their best to work on it. But Zarek did here on number 7 base, and if we take a look at that base, it is very compact. Giant bombs really have nowhere to be but on the outsides, and pre-scouting attacks showed us that there was one there where those Teslas popped, and there's 2 more down by the dark barracks on the bottom right. And there's probably another one up there by possibly that air sweeper, since there looks like there's some openings there. But he's just bringing a go weho, basically, bringing heavy hogs, double golem. Nice approach there because he's basically got everything distracted on that whole flank of the base now, including the archer queen. Goes ahead and drops his heroes. You can get some wall breakers for the king to access the enemy archer queen. And as soon as he's able to get in there, he will go ahead and start taking her out, which he does right there. Hogs are going right behind everything, just kind of starting to clear paths for the kill squad. 4 heal spells, so you know that he's planning on his hogs doing the majority of the work here because he needs to keep them healed up the entire time. He's got the poison spell there in case we get some ground skellies coming at the hogs. But right now the hogs are just working across one side. The kill squad is kind of split up going around the edges, so you couldn't ask for much better of a breakup of troops. There's a ground skeleton trap starting to pop here. He's got his hogs and heals, so he's not really worried about those skellies just yet. And he actually, I believe, doesn't even end up using the poison spell, which, you know, I wouldn't suggest that, obviously, but it works. You should use it right there. BK and the skellies are all together. That'd be the place to use your poison spell, but he's got all his hogs healed up. None of them have hit giant bombs. He's pretty much got a bulk of them left, and now they will turn on the skellies and the BK and knock him out. So right there, he doesn't even need the rest of his spells. He's got a heal left, a poison left. I would suggest, just as a matter of certainty, that you go ahead and just use those just to be safe. But you can just see he's got a ton of hogs left. His king, his queen is still up and running. Got a couple of wizards, and the hogs will go ahead and jump in there while the other troops have difficulty breaking through the walls, and they will take out the clan castle and town hall for a 3-star victory. And so really nice attack there. Way to use the scouting information and plan a good go Weho attack to take that base out. Next, we're going to look at an attack from Ryan. He is a Town Hall 8.5, or yeah, 8.5. So recent Town Hall 9, hasn't done much with the defense, is working on the offense. But I want to show this, even though it's kind of a hit down, because tactically it's just about perfect. Uses the hogs there to accomplish the lure. He gets the clan castle troops out, takes down a defense, and gets a giant bomb taken care of, all with just about 4 or 5 hogs. And so that's great use of troops and getting value out of that lure squad, getting a defense down, and tripping one of your potential hazards for your backside hogs with the giant bomb. And the rest of this attack just really goes picture perfect, in my opinion. Goes ahead and drops the barb, and then the wizards and the giant. And that giant's nice because he's got a little more health, and he tanks that dragon, gets him turned around for a little bit longer. And you can see he doesn't have to mess with that clan castle real long. And when he knows everything's down, he's already got his golems in. He's got a great golem spread there. Wall breakers are already in, and he's got them spread out. They're going in 2 different areas, and just a perfect deployment. He's got his whiz funnel going in behind it, followed by his heroes. And so his kill squad here is already launched. He's got wizards in the clan castle, and you're going to see these guys get in there and take out a good half of the base. And then once everything's kind of distracted and in the middle, he goes ahead and uses one of his heals to keep the kill squad alive. That's a great idea. They're taking down defenses, so he's got about half the defenses down before the hogs even come in. Now everything's distracted. He can start trickling in some hogs from the side. Now that everything is firing on the kill squad. And so here he does that, starts dropping in just sprinkled targeted hogs here, which is a great idea against this base because you know there's going to be flip traps in the middle and giant bombs similar to that one on the top side. And so this helps them to get around the traps without all hitting them at once. He knows that bomb's going to trip, so he gets that heal there. Hogs get healed back up. Everything's in the middle now. Just about every defense is taken out. A perfect poison spell placed where the skellies are going to be targeting the hogs. Saves a few hogs for the backside to take that cannon out. Heals everything up as they approach the last defense. And now they're all healed back up to full health. And all they have to do is get the cleanup done. So again, great army composition, great idea for this base, and just about picture perfect deployment. And again, doesn't even need that 4th heal spell because everything went so well. Great job there, Ryan. Next, we're going to look at kind of an interesting attack here, utilizing an attack that we've been working on as a clan, and that is a holo strategy. And you can see that Chaz is bringing just a few balloons, 10 of them, and kind of a standard 9 wizards and stuff to deal with the clan castle. And he's got 21 hogs there. And while he's killing that clan castle, just take a look at those air defenses, and you'll notice that they're only covering about 50% of the base. If you draw a line through the halfway point, those air defenses are at the 50 or below. And so what he recognized there is that it's very heavy on ground defense up top and air defense at the bottom. And so that's why this holo attack makes a lot of sense. And he goes ahead and just drops all his hogs at the bottom. He does have clan castle hogs, and they need to work about 50 to 60% of the base and get all of the air defenses down. That's their job. And he goes ahead and brings his BK and some of his his kill squad there to take some of those outer buildings. But you see those heals are right on top of the air defenses because that's the defense that he's mostly worried about. He's already got his loons coming in the top. He doesn't wait for his hogs to die. He goes ahead and gets them in. He knows that once the air defenses are down, the loons are kind of free to go, and that the hogs will go ahead and work their way around. and deal with some of the other things. He's already dropped his poison. He goes ahead and heals everything up because he's got a few hogs still working around there, and the loons get the advantage of that poison. Hogs do end up going down mostly to double giant bombs and flip traps, but at that point they have done their job, and there's only a few buildings left. The Wiz Tower is the only thing that can target the loons. They go ahead and knock out the cannon. All the defenses are down, and he's tripped all the giant bombs. All the Teslas are gone, so he brings his wizards in finally to do the cleanup. And they've got to deal with that BK there at the top, and that's going to kind of smoke a few of the wizards there. But they do get him down to about half strength, but these loons are going to go ahead and take him out the rest of the way. They drop him right there. And the loons do a lot of the cleanup as well. So really nice attack, well thought out, well planned out. Seeing that the top was very susceptible to air and the bottom was very susceptible to ground attack, and he used that hybrid holo attack. And really neat to see that second war in a row. And honestly, we had never had anybody try those, at least not successfully, in the entire time the clan's been around that I remember. And now we featured that attack as something to practice for November. And here we go, 2 wars in a row. We've seen 3-star holos. So don't use it on every base, but when it is the right base, you can see just how effective it is. Great job, Chaz. And lastly, we're going to watch another Goho here from the Great Gi and just kind of pick apart some of these. So he's got his lure done there and didn't drop enough hogs there to get that defense down. That's not going to be terrible. But here's where I would suggest a difference. Right there, he tries to drag to the top with an archer. All you're going to do is poison the loons. Why waste time dragging them to a corner? They're already clumped up down there where you tripped them. Just drop the poison in place and take care of them right where they're at. This ends up taking off probably another 20 to 30 seconds or more off the attack, and you run the risk of timing out as a result of that. So if you've got the loons popped and you've already counted them and you know you've got all 25 spaces out of the castle, there's absolutely no benefit to wasting the time dragging them up to the top. We're already under 2 minutes here remaining in the attack. I don't know how much that was in the full war attack timer, but again, it's just an unnecessary thing there. Watch out. Okay, he does get it broken before the mortar hits. You got to be wary that you're going to have 2 mortars firing on that and make sure you time that wall breaker hit just right. He goes ahead and drops his golem in there. Single golem, and that's just going to start distracting some of the defenses. Then he works kind of at a 90-degree counterclockwise angle and just starts kind of doing a surgical hog that's going to work and start clearing defenses for his kill squad. And then they're all going to kind of start clustering up in the middle where he drops his first heal spell. Goes ahead and drops his max clan castle hogs because they're going to provide the best strength. And he drops them down there where the area where there's really no danger of flip traps, there's no danger of giant bombs. And so that's a great place to drop your max hogs, is to let your inventory level 4s sniff out some of the traps and take some of the initial hit. And great heal spell there where the last giant bomb spot could be. It is there, but they live through it because he's got it well pre-healed. And so great spell dropping there. And the hogs are just going to go ahead, and there's plenty of them left. They've got 1 more defense left. The kill squad's already down. He's got barbs, wizards, even a couple of wall breakers left. And those are probably just emergency in case that first set, like I said, got mortar shot. He's got backup. So that was a great decision to keep those backup wall breakers. It also does help right here for the barbarians to get in towards the dark elixir storage. Hogs are going to go ahead in the inner ring and hop the walls and take care of the clan castle and town hall. And this attack is pretty much going to be over. So great job there. Again, only suggestion there would be don't waste the time on the front end with the poison, dragging them to a corner, because unless you're using a wizard or a witch kill squad, you just don't need to, because you can poison every single balloon. That is the last featured attack for 3 stars. What would any war recap be without a biggest fail segment? And this is going to feature 1 player and 2 attacks. And that is not necessarily to pick on anybody, but I don't mince words or anything like that. And, we have to have a certain ability, and that is to be able to, as a TH9, 2-star your own level. As a Town Hall 8, you need to be able to 3-star at some point in your career. But what I want to do is point out things that went wrong and reasons why these fails happen, so that we can correct them and fix them and come back and be better the next time. So it's not to call people out, and it's not to make fun of people. It is to provide a little comic relief for the video and the clan, as well as to point out some areas where we need to improve, because that is ultimately the goal of these war recaps, is to provide content for the channel, and mostly to just help clashers in our clan and other clans who may be watching to get better and find out what they can do to be a better attacker. With that said, we're going to look at 2 bounty hunter attacks, pretty high level Town Hall 9. And so, you know, it needs to be able to take out some bases. So we'll just kind of take a look at some of these. Goes ahead, and there was a spawn point there where he could get the clan castle lure because of the 3x3 space where the Teslas were. So he's got everything out. Here's problem number 1. We're luring and dragging with barbs. Notice how everything can hit the barb there. Use an archer. They're a ranged troop. Now we're using hogs, which hogs should be a defense targeting, you know, power troop to get your army done, and we're using them to drag out to the corner. That's a huge waste of troops, and not to mention they are level 1 hogs. I have no idea why we have level 1 hogs as a Town Hall 9. That has to be fixed like ASAP. Goes ahead and drops his Archer Queen to deal with the clan castle troops, which isn't terrible. She doesn't really take many hits there. Goes ahead and drops his golems. It's a good spread. But there's no funnel created. You have to use your wizards on the flanks on the outside to create a funnel. If you're going to drop everything in the middle, as soon as those middle buildings are gone, they're just going to go to the outside. Where's that P.E.K.K.A. going? He's going outside. And so you just lost the value of having your P.E.K.K.A. in the heat of the battle because he's just hammering on garbage buildings now. Dropped a heal spell there. There's no troops in there yet because you know they're going to target the closest building. So they're going sideways. You do get a little benefit of healing a golem here now. But just now the troops get into that heal spell and it's already wearing off. So that was pretty much a useless heal spell there. And goes ahead and drops that jump spell, but it's not... Look at the positioning on that jump spell. It only gets into the one compartment where the archer tower is. You have to drop that further in, and I'm sure Bounty Hunter knows that, but it's just a horrible placement. You need to place that in so you can access the core. If you're not good with placement on jump spells or you don't use them very well, then just quake in, because then you at least have a path for everything to dive to the middle. That jump spell is going to be pointless because it's only going to access one compartment. And let's go ahead and see what happens. See, everything's still circling because there was no funnel created. You have to start your wizards cutting on the outside, just like a dragon attack, to get a funnel created. Now you see the last remaining troops are starting to go to the inside. We have a clan castle golem who's supposed to be a tank, and he's coming out at the end. And maybe just forgotten, whatever. But those are just mistakes that honestly at this level just can't happen. You just got to be better than that. If you know you have a clan castle golem, use him first. If you struggle with your clan castle troops and remembering to use them, put them out there first. Put yours in there, your inventory one second. But you got to be smarter about the use of those troops. And if you're going to have a clan castle that's a tank, then just use them first. Doesn't matter. You're going to use them eventually, and you're going to get them all out there ahead of time. But so now your kill squad and your DPS is already dead, and your tank is like the last troop left. You got some wizards going out there. You brought a haste spell that you have no use for. Might as well have brought a poison spell, because haste is really only good on slow-moving troops that deal damage, which basically is balloons. Maybe P.E.K.K.A.s, I don't know, but really the only use for haste, in my opinion, is balloons. Even skellies are pretty fast on their own, so I wouldn't really use them with witches, but as you can see, all his DPS is dead, terrible funnel, bad jump spell, golem not deployed till the very end, and basically only got about not even half of the base. And so that's, a lot of things went wrong there, and that's why doesn't have his Barb King up for some reason. Don't think we knew about that. Oh, yep, he is in there. He's just down. For some reason they're not in there together. I don't know why. Maybe they go in the order that you launched them or something. And the second attack here against a very popular internet base. You got to be able to take this base out. It's called the General, and it's for people who use internet bases. This used to be one of the most popular ones. There are variants of it, but typically it's designed with double giant bombs on the bottom. This one actually has Tesla giant bomb combos, but same basic idea here. But there's so much content on the internet and on YouTube on how to beat this base because of how popular it is, that if you don't take the time to research that, I'm not saying you have to do that all the time, but it's helpful if you know these bases and you recognize them and realize that if you don't know how to beat it, there's probably a resource out there that can help you get a good army comp and a good idea for an attack strategy, because the heroes are absolutely low level here, level 6 and level 8 BK. So really, other than the defenses kind of being maxed out for Town Hall 9, this should be pretty much an easy base to 2-star at the minimum. But let's go ahead and see how he approaches it. And look at the army comp there. Again, it's pretty much a go we wipe. And we do have a quad quake this time. We do have another haste spell again, in my opinion, a waste. A poison spell would be much more effective because you can hit the clan castle troops and the queen on the approach with the poison spell. And a couple of heal spells, which I don't suggest if you're going to quad quake using 2 heal spells unless you've got like a hog composition, because it's really helpful to have a rage to deal with the clan castle and or use it as you approach the town hall to get the town hall knocked down quickly. Let's go ahead and take a look at how this unfolds. It goes ahead and quad quakes in to the queen. Nothing wrong with that. I would suggest a jump spell just because it's less spell space and you'll still be able to access her, but it does open up the compartment to the town hall as well. Also, you need to check your lure radiuses. You see he drops a couple of hogs there, and again, they're level 1 hogs. They're not going to do you any good. There's no sense in using level 1 hogs. Goes ahead and drops his wizards before his tanks, so 4 of them or so get smoked right off the beginning. Again, doesn't create an outside-in funnel, and so you're going to have the same thing happen here as the last attack pretty much. The queen is locked onto the golems. At this point, your king should be in there to go get him, and drops the P.E.K.K.A.s here. Again, still no funnel created, but they should go to the middle, it looks like. Drops the heroes in. The haste spell, again, I'm not sure what we're getting at with a haste spell. Does get the P.E.K.K.A.s into the core pretty quick, I guess, since they're slow moving. Like I said, P.E.K.K.A.s maybe, but definitely balloons are benefited by those. But everything's kind of circling. He didn't drive most of his troops to the core, and this is where that rage would come in handy if you would have gotten, now you got Clan Castle Wizards, they're going up to the side again because you didn't create a funnel. And so Bounty Hunter, definitely need to take a look at Funneling 101. We have that video on the website, on YouTube. That is what's killing every single one of your attacks, is the lack of a proper whiz funnel, driving all your troops to the core. If you get that down, you're going to get the town hall, you're going to get over 50%, and these zeros are going to turn into 2s in a real hurry once you get all your DPS funneled into the core. And so, again, you see about 46%, similar to the last one. Might get a couple more percentage points here somewhere. Nope. Oh, yeah, that archer will probably take out that lick storage, maybe for a 47%. But, again, we just saw 2 attacks, similar problems. Not using tanks properly, not creating whiz funnels, not taking care of clan castle and enemy heroes in a quick enough and effective enough manner, and leaving the town hall up on both attacks. And so a couple things that we can fix there, and just encourage you to take that for what it's worth and use it to improve your attack strategies. And for anyone else watching, to kind of serve as a lesson for what not to do as you're planning out your attacks. So once again, great job everybody. Congratulations Abraham on a 6-star war, and I will be back in the battle, in the fight next time.